I have something to talk about because this is something that I feel it just plays perfectly into my playbook, and we're gonna talk about it now. Has any of you played the game Halo? Is any of you familiar with the video game Halo, my friends? So anyways, if you are familiar with the game Halo and you've spent the last even couple of days on X, you will have noticed that people are a little upset. And people are a little upset because of this. So let's have a look at it. There's a government entity with a grey tick. And the government entity with a grey tick is called Homeland Security. And Homeland Security posted this. They said, finishing this fight. And it says, destroy the flood, join ice.gov. And this has created a pandemonium is the correct word. So I have a lot to say about this situation. And I think I'm in a position to be based on this. So they are using, of course, the video game Halo to push ICE, like join ICE. And there are a lot of people that go mad at this. Now, destroy the flood. What do they mean? But the flood are aliens. The flood are aliens, guys. For those who haven't played Halo, the flood are aliens, and so are the illegals. They are a flood, and so are the illegals, because there are waves of millions. I think the word destroy is a little much. Homeland Security. Maybe I would have said, send the flood back. Is what I would have said rather than destroy. But regardless, is this a problem? According to Angry Joe, yes, because he has completely lost his mind. According to me, here's what I'm going to say. And I made a post about it and I said this. Check this out. I'd prefer zero modern political propaganda in my games, given this is not in the game. This is not in the game. This is the government creating a meme through a game. Completely different level. But let's imagine for a moment that this becomes a thing rather than this. I'll present my position. Let's say that this becomes a thing, and now ICE is starting to actually, we are starting to get quests where we get illegal aliens, and we need to build a wall to block them. Like, imagine that starts happening. Then I would say I'd prefer zero modern political propaganda in my games, but if I had to choose the lesser evil, then definitely the one on the right, hands down, is the lesser evil here. And I know that this is going to blow some minds. Some people are going to get really angry. I will defend this position and I will use reason and logic. Please listen to that before you tell me that you hope that I die. And then see if my position makes sense. And if it doesn't, feel free to counter it. Anyways, here is how I defended point I just made using reason, logic, and factual truth. 1. The Homeland Security one is not actually inside the game, while the LGBTQ plus propaganda is. And it's not just inside the game, by the way. It's on every single screen, on a monumental amount of games. Look at what they have done, for instance, in the game Dragon Age Veilguard. And we have had to deal with that for years. For years. And I've complained about it for years. If they put join ice.gov in games, I'll complain about it too. This is not in the game right now, but if they do, I'll complain about it. I don't want any game, any politics. This has been my position. So at least from a consistency standpoint, I've been complaining about this, no politics in game, meaning modern politics, before people tell me about the politics in Metal Gear Solid or about the politics in Final Fantasy Tactics, which, by the way, in that situation, it wasn't left versus right, it was up versus down, but whatever. I'm not talking about politics in universe. I'm talking about modern political propaganda aimed at creating voters. This is what this is. And normalization of political takes. But regardless, I've been complaining about this for years. So I'm in the position to say, yes, if you put this in my games, I'll complain about it too. The people who shouldn't speak are the people who kept telling us, no, this is not a problem. But now you have a problem with it? Propaganda is wrong in game. Let's continue. 2. The Homeland Security is appropriately describing the wave of millions of illegals as a flood. Wave, flood, water appropriate. I don't appreciate 3. That Homeland Security used the word destroy. I find it out of place and in poor taste. But kicking out illegals and prevent them from breaking the law is a just and righteous cause, as long as it's done correctly and lawfully. So, if ICE arrests a citizen, I disagree with that. But if ICE arrests an illegal alien, I'm not disagreeing with that because that's the law. For the one on the left pushes an ideology which ends up with children being given puberty blockers, being brainwashed, being pushed to experiment, being taught gender ideology nonsense, and in the worst case, it leads to C-word and mutilation. Yes, I'd rather none existed, but if I have to choose, I'll take the one on the right. Thank you very much. Now ignore this, agree with it, disagree and try to change my mind in a civil manner, insult me, or whine. It's all engagement. Thanks. So, this is also the reason why I specified this is because people will tell me being gay, it's not politics. And I agree. Being gay is not politics, but LGBTQ activism is. LGBTQ activism absolutely is. If I was in charge, none of this would happen, not in an authoritarian sense. I'm saying if I was the game developer, I wouldn't put any politics in the games. So I would stay consistent. But we have had to deal with this for years. And now they complain about it. Now you complain about it because they put the join us.gov, then it's hypocritical. At least I'm not being hypocritical. I could be wrong if you have a better case. If you think one of my 4 points is objectively or morally incorrect, maybe I could be wrong. I'm willing to accept that. But I am coherent. I'm the guy who said, no politics, right or left. But the people that said, no, this is fine. Why does it matter? Why do you care? Oh, now you care? When it's right wing on one image? While they made an entire game, I don't know if you're aware of this, but they made an entire game where you play as illegal aliens who are trying to go from Mexico through the wall into the United States. They made a game about this. So a game about breaking the law. And that, yeah. Okay. So as I was saying, Angry Joe went completely nuts on this. He said, F ICE, F Donald Trump, get the F out of here with using Halo for your shitty, dehumanizing police state propaganda. You see, Angry Joe, and I used to watch his videos. I disagree strongly with his politics, but here's the thing, Angry Joe. I speak to you man to man, okay? I'm not gonna go into, oh, Angry Joe's woke. I don't do that, okay? I'm not gonna do that. But here's the thing. The only time that I've heard you, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but the only time in which I heard you, Angry Joe, complain about left-wing politics and propaganda in games was when you were playing Mass Effect and the general looked like a gender study major. And he said that. So I remember him doing that. But considering the fact that we have had years and years and years of left-wing politics, look at Dragon Age Veilguard, being pushed into games, denaturalizing them completely, then I'm asking, where was this when all of that happened? And if you did do it, I'll apologize and say, hey, the guy said F Dragon Age Veilguard because of the political propaganda and F Biden for allowing it. If he did that, then cool. As long as you're coherent. Problem is, I don't think he did. So I think to me, this looks like he probably got some conservatives that pissed him off, and he went and he completely exploded. But I think he's losing the plot. Because this is one image, man. We have had like transgender bullets in games. Why do we have transgender bullets in games? Fantasy games where you can have like the scar. In a fantasy game where you can use magic to look and change whatever you want, you need to go through puberty blockers and surgery, vasectomy, whatever it's called, double mastectomy. I don't remember the word in English. I apologize if I mispronounced it. Like we have had so much swapping of like they turned a Norse historical Jarl, Nordic, into a black woman. They changed Cleopatra, who's Greek, turned the entire family. People don't know that because you didn't watch it. I did. You guys didn't watch it. I did. They changed not just Cleopatra into a black woman, but the entire family. And then when we complain about that, you either called, not you, Angry Joe, but I'm saying people on your side of politics called us racists, or they told us, why do you care? Why does it matter? So shouldn't we now be in the position to tell you why does it matter? Why do you care? No, I know why you care. It's because you want your hobby, which is a hobby, in principle, is a uniting force. I've played Warhammer 40k, whether it be Space Marines or whatever you like. I've played it with people that were like right-wingers. I played it with freaking communists. I played it with anyone, and it didn't matter, with atheists, with religious, with Christians, with anything, because hobbies unite. But when you put politics, modern, it divides, and a hobby is not supposed to divide. So I understand why you don't want right-wing politics in the games, but then you need to be complaining about left-wing politics too, like I do. It's not even comparable. Like, this is just a beginning, I suppose. This is just the beginning. And I hope it doesn't continue. Although then again, you call it a police state. Man, illegal immigration is illegal. I'm a legal immigrant, and I have to say to the people that say, oh yes, illegal immigration, it's great, it's fine. It's not. Am I a joke? Like, I mean, refugees is different. Anyways, he says MAGA cult members. Like, he went on a super left-wing explosion. And I know his name is Angry Joe, so I guess. But here we are. I'm just talking to you like a man. It was a little strange, that outburst, if you ask me, honestly. Redditors want to sue ICE for this Halo post. You know how many things we should be suing then? Come on. ridiculous. It's like, oh my gosh, Trump became really, look at this one. So we've got power to the players, the White House. I mean, it is funny to see Trump like that. I would find Biden funny as well. Once I dressed up Biden as a Viking, by the way. I did that for one of my videos. That's funny. But I wouldn't want it in the game. Meme all you like. But just don't put it in the freaking game, guys. Come on. Look at his face. Oh my gosh. You see this? So I also understand this guy. I don't know who he is, 1,000 subscribers. And he says, hey, Angry Joe, caught your crybaby rant about the... I know why people are mad at Angry Joe. I get it. I tried not to approach it like this. This is the first time that I'm approaching or responding, if you will, to something Angry Joe said. I used to watch him. I still periodically watch his Fable 3 review, and I thought it was epic at the time. I think we disagree on a lot of political takes at this point, me and Angry Joe. I'm just treating him like a man, and I'm just showing him without insulting. I'm not going to call him names. I don't do that. I think it's a little hypocritical. Now, if you think that I'm a far-right guy because of it, so be it. I'm just saying I think the take is a little hypocritical after all of the left-wing politics on every single freaking game for years. Look at Concord, for crying out loud. Look at, again, Dragon Age and so many games. It's not even comparable. And I think this is the Happy Pride Month. There you go. Embrace love, diversity, inclusion, equipping by a unity of 24 calling nameplate and emblem in Halo Infinite. It's June. Let's stand together. And by the way, this doesn't happen only in June. Last month, I turned on my PS5 and I got diversity, inclusion, everyone is love, everything. My whole screen of my PlayStation was filled with that, filled with all sorts of politics everywhere. And I disagree with those politics. So why is it being put on my screen? Unless we make it equal, and then you do this in June, fine. Next month, I want my PlayStation screen to say Beautiful European History Month with a massive Christian cross on the side. Then I'll be okay with it. Well, to be honest, I'd have nothing, actually. I'd have just the games, if possible. But this is the situation. It's always rule for me, not for thee. I'm not declaring war to Angry Joe just yet, but that was a little cringe to watch, man. Need ICE to stay the F away from Halo forever. Look at them. And these are people who never said a thing about the left-wing politics on the games. Ever. They never did. So I'm not gonna take you seriously. Asmongold lays down the hammer on Angry Joe show. I gotta see this.
Angry Joe crashing out over the White House meme. I saw that. He was really mad. Angry Joe, let me see if I can find it. I mean, living up to his name, right? So he crashed the fuck out. He got so mad. He's been going back and forth about this. The bad guys, all the Epstein files, wait for the apology. Basically, this dude lost his fucking mind because basically, what do you call it? This, putting aside the fact there's about 10 stars missing from the AI generated flag. Yeah. No way the AI didn't get it right perfectly. Can you believe that? What a surprise.
I'm surprised the hands are fine.
And so anyway, can I find any more of these? Where's the original post, right? Superman, when you talk about serious and sad and lonely, he's just talking about some other random bullshit. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
ICE and Donald Trump. Bro, they're all getting deported. It doesn't matter how much you cry, how much you bitch, how much you moan, how much you complain. People voted, and now there's a consequence.
When he says all, the illegals, we mean the illegals. Let's underline that. Not people with citizenship, for crying out loud.
And we're getting them all out. Every single one. I don't give a fuck what the... Oh, but look at the kid crying. Oh, really? I guess we shouldn't have borders now. Oh, man. Why didn't I think of that? Nope.
I was talking about dividing families. I was separated by my legal, lawful, and beloved wife for a year and a half. I was in Italy. She was here. We were separated for a year and a half because I went through the proper channels of immigration and I did things right. Am I a joke? That's the thing. I do feel for the children, by the way, I do. But that's the problem. Why did the Biden administration allow all of these millions of immigrants in? And we'll see.
Lie about it, bitch about it, maul about it, do whatever you want. It's not going to change a goddamn thing. And isn't Halo about fighting? Yes, but Halo is literally about illegal aliens. Do you think the Covenant were supposed to be on Earth? No, they're not. They're not. So, I mean, honestly, I think this is the humane way of going about it. You think they just showed? No, bro, they weren't supposed to be there. They came out of there from nowhere. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
I'll tell you one more thing about the illegal aliens in Halo. Not only, yeah, they are aliens and they are invading. I'm just gonna say this: they are highly religious and they belong to a religion that is definitely not of peace. I'll leave it at that.
Yes. And so anyway, Jesus, in poor taste, man. Holy shit. I don't give a fuck. What's in poor taste about this? Getting mad at the government for enforcing the border policy and deporting people that are here illegally? That's in poor taste? I mean, get the fuck out of here. I mean, come on. The amount of and by the way, that's in poor taste. These people would have no problem going around. Look at this guy. Where is it? Let me see if I can find it. Superman, aren't you a lonely failed game developer turned online grifter? You're going around firing an ostrich. He's making it super personal. That's immediately what he does.
The word grifter has become a red flag for me. Whenever I hear someone using the word grifter, then I understand that these people are not about discourse or discussion, and it's not really a matter of they disagree with you, but they have some strong takes. No, it's usually people that use grifter is because they have nothing on you. They can't attack your arguments. In fact, they use it to undermine your argument because they can't face it. Because if they did have the data to take on your arguments, they would not need to call you grifter. For me, grifter is like it's a non-word now. If I hear it, I'm like, in fact, I use it myself. I say, hello from your favorite far-right grifter. I use it on purpose because it's a nonsense word. The reason why people have got to this point where they say, oh, no, but I mean, it's not, it's just, what's wrong with it? It's just they're breaking the border, they're entering illegal, but it's not a big deal. It's because they got used to getting away with it. They got used that this law is being, it's like a mockery, it's a joke, it's not enforced properly. And so they got used to it. And so when they see something that is in fact normal in every other country, there is not a single country that doesn't try to, with different degrees of success, depending on manpower and resource allocation, there is no single country on this planet that tells you, yeah, everyone can come in. When I immigrated into Japan, when I immigrated in the UK, I've immigrated into 3 different countries in 3 different continents in my life. And every time I did, I had to go through a process. I had to get a visa. I had to have a reason to be there. And in order to get that visa, oftentimes I had to know the language because I needed to get a job and whatever you want. That's normal. It is absolutely normal to have borders and to have because otherwise it's chaos and anarchy. And of course, not all these aliens, that all these illegals, they're not all threats, but some of them absolutely are. And the reason you go about it, differentiating between people that could be productive members of society and people that are absolute banes and rapists, is with background checks through the legal channels of proper, correct immigration. You know how many checks they did on me? 3 times in my life? 3 times? It is what it is. It's just a normal law. There are borders in every country. For some reason, the West is the one that needs to be no borders. We want free flow of people. No, you don't. You want it until your daughter or your girlfriend or your wife meets one of these people with machetes in hand. Then you'll change your mind. And I hope you can change your mind before that happens to you, to be honest. I'm very pro rule, like law and order. Absolutely. But this is even beyond that. It's not a police state. It's not a police state. It's just normal. That's what it is. Yeah, they do it for votes. Of course they do it for votes because, of course, they want all these people in because then they can accelerate a path to citizenship so they can vote. I personally think that's all it is. I don't think it's a matter of, oh, but we want to be nice. It's for votes.
Too bad, bro. Too fucking bad. The whole world supports ICE. Well, some people don't, but the people that do, the people that don't are just doing it performatively. Yeah. I guarantee you that, any of these people that are out on a soapbox talking about how much they don't like ICE, okay, sounds great. I'm going to move 2 illegal families into 2 houses next to you. And you're going to have to deal with that now forever. And that's the way.
To be fair, actually, Asmongold, I'll go a step further. Move them and relocate them into their house. Not their house next. Living room. Isn't the country an extension of the house? Isn't the family the core of the country? And therefore, the people of this country is an extension of the family. Everything starts at the family. It's the same thing. Now house them. And also when it comes to work, when they talk about oh yeah, but these people, they do jobs that you don't want to do. And so if these people don't do these jobs, then who's going to do it? White people, legal resident, you can do these jobs, but it doesn't matter because they say this. But do they actually care? Because a lot of these people are exploited, underpaid. They have no coverage, insurance, nothing. And there are employers. We should look at these employers, by the way. If you want to talk about police state, talk about police state. Let's have a look at these employers. Why are these employers illegally taking migrants, but they are not supposed to work here, and then they underpay them and they mistreat them? Do you care? I want these people to go through the legal channel so that they can get a job that is dignifying, like the one I have, and they can be covered. If they hurt themselves, they are covered. That's the thing.
It is. And so anyway, and that's really where I'm at, right?
Yeah.
Is like immediately put people on the spot with that shit, right? Because then that's whenever you've seen all these opinions change, man. How's an illegal, right? Yeah, bro. Senator Martha's Vineyard, exactly.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I understand he went a little harsh on this, Asmongold, but do remember that this is a guy. I want to point this out. If you think that what he said sounded insensitive, even though I agree with him, at a legal state, I agree with him. But you could say, yeah, but the way he said it was too harsh. But do you understand what this guy has to deal with? Like that's why I respect Asmongold a lot. When his mother died, the radical left and all the people that hate him kept pushing it on him, telling him, haha, your mother died. Telling him, you killed your own mother. It's your fault. You didn't help her enough. So he had to deal with that twice because his dad died recently, and I sent him my best wishes and everything, and pray for him. Absolutely. I know he's not Christian, doesn't matter. I'll still pray for him, and I think he would appreciate that. And I've seen disgusting people, and because he's massive, we are talking thousands. Imagine that this guy, his dad dies, and people are going there and telling him your dad is burning in hell. He has to deal with all of that. I'd say, of course, he's gonna be a little harsh on his takes. I get that too, but I get it like a 10th, maybe a 20th of what he does. When my mom died of cancer, there were people in the comment section, either from in general because they were pissed that I had some conservative takes, or because they were pissed because I said the ancient Egyptians weren't all black. So it was either from the Afrocentric community or from the radical left. Regardless, there were people that were laughing and telling me, your mom is burning in hell right now, and I hope you're next. I got that. And, I look at that, and either I've learned to laugh at these people or to ignore them. But I don't know, someone like him, this level of popularity, I can't even fathom this type of stuff that he has to deal with. I'm just gonna level with you. So yeah, I'll give him, as long as he doesn't say like direct incitement to violence like Hassan Piker does, then I'll draw the line. Then I will not justify him. But if Asmongold occasionally uses a bit of a strong worded thing, I'm like, yeah, I get it. I do. I really do. And that's how it's gonna be when it comes to that. ICE using Halo maps as in-group signaling is the reverse longhouse. If you appreciate my content so far and wish to help ensure my ability to continue to tell it how it is, regardless of any possible backlash, please support this channel on Patreon. Any support helps me and my team of academics keep the channel strong and gives us the means to fight back against the political rewriting of history. Stand with us, form the wall, defend the truth.